Good afternoon, everyone, and happy King's Day.
Oh, good evening. That was my line. You stole my line.
Oh,
I hope
sorry.
you're having a lovely holiday so far. For today, it's Monday. We have a benchmark coming up. Before we talk about that, we got the question if you could go and switch the equipment that you were lending somewhere in the past. I think, or we decided this would be an administrative overhead, so you are stuck with the equipment that you have. Hopefully it's just another 3 weeks and then we're back to opening in some shape or form. So please stick to the equipment that you have that limits social contacts. Then, for today, benchmark. What we have coming up is a workout which we're going to reveal in a bit, but what you need equipment-wise is
A box or a chair, something that you can jump or step up, preferably a box, something stable, and a kettlebell or 2 dumbbells, depending on the equipment that you have, something that you can press over your head. A wall ball is also good. Personally, I'm going to do the workout, so I'm going to use both. I'm going to use a box, a kettlebell, a heavy kettlebell kind of, and a 6 kilo wall ball.
good. And with that, time to cue the music. And there we are. I've got the pleasure today of talking. Kat is going to be moving for the warm-up. We have a lot of squatting coming up because we have a lot of thrusters coming up. So we're going to start with a squat T-spine opener. We're going to do it all together. We're going to put our feet into a squatting position, so the feet are going to be under the shoulders, the toes are slightly pointing out, and we're going to sit down in a low squat. We want to have the heels on the floor. Now, the right elbow is going to press into the right knee as the left arm is going up towards the ceiling, and then we switch to the other side. The left arm is pressing into the left knee, and the right arm goes up. We're going to do 10 reps of the T-spine opener. After those 10 reps, hopefully the squat feels a little bit better. And we're going to get the legs going, and we're going to do 8 step-ups depending on whatever object you have. We're going to start in front of the object. One foot goes up, the full foot on the box, step up. Full extension at the top, hip, knees, shoulders, ankles are in one line. 8 in total, that's 4 per side. You don't need to rush it. Just see how it feels, bringing yourself up on that box, on that chair, whatever you have at home. And after that, we're going to go into 5 half burpees. We're reaching down to the floor, the hands go onto the floor, we jump back into a good plank position and jump back forward. You can also step if jumping is not yet an option. Very slow and relaxed, we're really not in a rush. And then we're going to go back to the T-spine opener, sitting down in the squat. Hopefully a tiny bit lower than before, and then we start rotating. Your eyes are following your hand, so when the hand goes up to the ceiling, your head is reaching through, and we're really trying to open up. So twist as far as you can, as far as you're comfortable. Good. After those 10, we're going into 8 step-ups again. Foot goes on the box, step up, full extension at the top. And then we step down. You can play a little bit with the rhythm, see if you want to switch foot on top of the box or on the bottom. Both variations are fine. And after 8, we're going into 5 half burpees. Good. As a general warm-up, that should be enough. We're now going to take a little bit of time to talk about the movements and play around with it. There are 5 movements in the workout: a cluster, a sumo deadlift high pull, box jumps, push presses, and burpees. So let's talk about the cluster, the most complex movement for today. It is a squat clean thruster. So whatever object you have, the object is going to start on the floor. We're going to start with the wall ball for now. The object starts on the floor between your feet. We're going to do a squat clean, meaning we're going to set up with the hip low. It's not a deadlift, the hip comes low, the chest is pointing forward. From here, we're going to extend hips and knees, pull the ball into a front rack position, catch it in a squat, and now we're going to follow through with a thruster, meaning we're going to stand up and press overhead. So the cluster is a clean thruster. Weight starts on the floor, pick it up in a squat clean, press it overhead. Depending on the object that you have, do a few practice reps. So this was the variation with the wall ball. If you're working with one kettlebell, for example, you can do this with one arm. So let's take the 8 kilo kettlebell and show a cluster with this. So depending on the object, if you do a one arm cluster, maybe you can face the camera. You're picking up the kettlebell with one arm. We're going to bring it into a front rack position in the squat, deep squat, stand up and press overhead. You can switch arms or do all repetitions on the same side. Squat clean into the thruster. Same goes with a dumbbell. If you have a heavy object, you can also do this with 2 arms. You could do it in the goblet style, also with a dumbbell. That's your cluster. Second movement is the sumo deadlift high pull. This time the dumbbell, the weight only goes up to the chin. Sumo means we're going to bring the feet outside our squatting position, the toes are pointing out. We're going to sit down into what looks like a half squat. From here we're going to stand up and pull the weight all the way to the chin. Don't hold on at the top, just bring it to the chin and back down. Relax for a second. What's important, on the way up, we extend first the knees and the hip, then we pull with the hands. On the way down, we first bring the arms back down and then bend the knees and hips. So it should be a fluid movement. One more time, please. Watch the knees and hip are extending, then the arms are bending. First the arms extend on the way down, then hips and knees bend. The common error would be to keep the arms bent on the way down, so that we're kind of holding on to that tension. We really don't need to. Extend the arms and let the kettlebell come down gently. That's the sumo deadlift high pull. From there, we're going into the box jump or step up, depending on your object. If you're stepping up, same as in the warm-up. If you're jumping 2 feet in front of the box, we're going to use our legs and arms, especially to jump up, land with 2 feet, full extension on the box, and step back down. Jump back up straight away and step back down. That's your box jump or the box step up. Then we've got the push press. Depending on the object, we can use a wall ball for now. You're going to do pretty clean. So I'm going to pick up the weight, bring it in a front rack position. The elbows are under the weight is right in front of the face. We're going to use the legs to dip and drive and press the weight overhead in one fluid motion. If you're having one object with 2 hands, it would look like this. If you have one object with one arm, like for example a kettlebell, the movement would look similar, but only with one object. Maybe you can show us a few. Pretty clean to bring the kettlebell into your front rack position and then dip and drive the weight overhead. And the last movement of today is the burpee. Well, we've done the half burpees. Do one burpee for us, just one. Hands go down on the floor, chest goes down to the floor, and stand back up. Full extension at the top. Now, we've been showing a lot of variations in the hope that you're going to do 5 reps each on everything. Do you think that happened? I think that happened. If you now have your movements together, we can reveal the workout of the day. The workout of today is a modified fight gone bad. Fight gone bad is basically 3 rounds, 5 minutes of work, 1 minute of rest. It works as an EMOM. The first minute you're going to do as many clusters as possible. The second minute as many high pulls as possible. The third minute as many box jumps as possible. The fourth minute as many push press as possible. The fifth minute as many burpees as possible. And then minute number 6 you're going to rest. Your score is the sum of all the repetitions that you do. So in minute 0, you're going to start counting your clusters, and then you're just going to count up, 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 up until you rest. In your rest minute, write down your score. Realistically, you're going to have something between 70 to 100 repetitions in the first 5 minutes. So we're aiming for something like 15 to 20 repetitions each minute. So you're going to end up with a score of, let's just say, 100 after the first 5 minutes. We rest for 1 minute, and then we do that 2 more times. If you never did Fight Gone Bad before, have fun today, experience it for the first time. The first 5 minutes are very innocent. The second 5 minutes make you wonder how you should get through the third set, and the third set is really just holding on and hoping for the best.
Yes.
Wonderful workout. Good. The clock's going to be on the screen, but I'm also going to talk you through every single round. So I'm going to give you a 3, 2, 1 before every rotation. Thank you. And with that, I think no further delays.
No, I'm going to die.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this workout earns its name. It's going to feel like a fight gone bad. The last 5 minutes we will be fighting just to make some reps. Good. Count your reps. Just keep counting. Don't make it too complicated. Have a piece of paper next to you, so in your rest minute you can write it down. That makes life easier. And then we're going to start 17 minutes of pleasure in 10 seconds. Starting with the wall ball clusters in 5, in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Weight starts on the floor, pick it up through a squat, press it overhead. The weight touches the floor in the beginning of each rep, and we pick it up through a squat and press overhead. Try to get your breathing in line with the movement, and don't forget to count. Halfway through the first minute. "15 seconds before we then move into the next movement. In 3, 2, 1, on to the high pull. Grab your weight, feet in a sumo position, and then we're pulling all the way up to the chest. Keep counting your reps. However many wall ball clusters you did, simply keep counting. Keep your back straight in the sumo deadlift high pull. Sit down, really use those legs. Up. Just got 15 seconds here to go. That's taking a strategic breath. And then we're moving on to the box jumps in 5, in 3, 2, 1, and let's go. Don't waste time on the transition. Simply move to the next station. If you're jumping, please stay safe. No accidents on the box jumps, please. 1 rep at a time, but keep counting your repetition. If you're stepping up, make sure you're hitting full extension at the top. Seconds before we move on to the push press. In 3, 2, 1, and move on. Pick up the weight, bring it into a front rack position, and then use the legs to dip and drive the weight overhead. Try to come to a full lockout. Depending on the object, that might be easy. If you're having an odd object like a wall ball or a sandbag, it might be hard to lock it out. Go as far as your mobility allows, come back down, and don't stop moving. "20 seconds to go in this round before we then move on." In 5, in 3, 2, 1. On to the burpees. Don't waste time. Right away, chest goes down, come back up, and keep counting your repetitions. "30 seconds to go, 30 seconds of burpees." Last 15, don't stop, finish the full minute. In 5, in 3, 2, 1. And rest. Very good. How many repetitions did you do? Exactly 100. Well, that makes it easy to remember. So we're going to put that down. 100 reps on the whiteboard. Good. That first round is usually the easiest because you're fresh and everything feels kind of okay. We're going to do that 2 more times. So really try to relax now as much as possible. Get your breathing down. Because we're then going to do it again. Your goal is to either increase the reps or at least try to hit the same amount of repetitions. Do not allow yourself to drop in repetition. If that happens, well then we have to fight a little bit harder in the last round. So the second round shows you if you went out too fast, so we're going to figure that one out as we approach minute number 7 of Fight Gone Bad in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Back to the clusters, weight starts on the floor, pick it up through a squat clean and then press straight overhead.